Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. Dairy farms are part of our economic engine, and like any piece of machinery, they need a tune-up from time to time. Dairy Business Innovation Centers were launched in 2020 by the United States Agency of Agriculture to support development, production, marketing, and distribution of dairy products. Here in Vermont, the Northeast DBIC is hosted by the Vermont Agency of Agriculture. An important partner is the University of Vermont Extension, which is providing technical assistance to farmers who want to innovate and improve their businesses. Joining us via Zoom to discuss what's going on are UVM Extension's Farm Business Educator, Tony Kitsos, and Dairy Herd Management Educator, Whitney Hull. Welcome to you both, and thanks for being with us.
Good morning, Fran. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Fran.
Tony, let's start with you. You've worked with dairy farmers in every facet of business planning. What sort of technical assistance does UVM Extension hope to provide farmers with this funding?
Well, Fran, this is a great opportunity for extension outreach education to be able to bring dairy management technology out to the farms. Most of the grants that we work with tend to be on the outside of the farm in the form of agronomy or strictly ag business or water quality. And this allows us that opportunity to provide in the barn milk production, herd management, records analysis, those types of things that we think are needed, and some good education around that is now forthcoming from this Dairy Innovation Grant.
Fantastic. Well, there are other programs and grants that farmers can apply for to fund projects. So this funding is different because it fills that gap. And what else?
Yeah, it fills the gap, and it also dovetails nicely with some of the other grants that we have, where we're always wanting for that one extra piece to help them round out a business plan or implement a business strategy that might require some sort of a change in the barn. And again, grants tend to be specific in the nature of the work that we can do. And this opens a big door for us to provide that type of technical expertise.
Terrific. So talk about the role of the Vermont Agency of Agriculture in this project and how that partnership works.
Sure. The Agency of Agriculture received a regional grant for the Northeast Dairy Business Innovation Center and are administering money out to see how many areas of dairy innovation that they can positively affect. For us, it's technical expertise and outreach education directly in the barn. For others that are recipients of DBIC funds, they work with pasture management, the dairy industry side of things to help cheese makers and yogurt makers bring new innovation to their businesses as well. So it's quite comprehensive in its ability to help support and bolster the dairy industry.
Okay. And Whitney, you've been meeting with farmers one-on-one to find out their needs. What are they saying?
It's been pretty wide-ranging at this point. We have farmers that have been interested in upgrading their facilities, building a new barn, adding on to an existing barn, upgrading a parlor system. And it's been as small as we have a somatic cell issue and we'd like your help addressing it.
So you've been reaching out to farmers. Is it mainly farmers looking to expand something that's already existing, or farmers who want to start something completely new?
It's been a little bit of both. Mostly it's working with farmers on a comprehensive dairy management plan for the farm based on, if they want to improve a barn, how can we maximize cow comfort in that new barn to help increase milk production or to help address some of the other herd management concerns that they may have going forward.
Okay, and Tony, with the, so clearly it supports expansion, but what about a farm needing to address, say, a latent need, something that they've been putting off?
That's an excellent use of a program like this, Fran. Over the last several years, and if it isn't the pandemic, it's low milk prices. Lots of things over the last 5, 6, 7 years have inhibited farmers' ability to make capital improvements on their farm. And a lot of the capital improvements that they want to make are things that improve efficiencies, improve milk production, improve milk quality. And so now with some technical expertise that we can provide, I think we're going to begin to see a little bit more capitalization on farms to bring things back up to where they want them to be.
So this is a real opportunity. And though this funding might not directly address production, how much milk a herd averages, but it does provide for the improvements that will increase productivity. So Whitney, can you give us some examples of what does that? What are some examples of increasing productivity or making the cows happier?
Sure. I think a big one is cow comfort. That's one that we always come back to. So anytime that we can increase cow comfort in the barn, in the parlor, wherever she is, we can increase milk productivity. And there's a lot of different improvements via cow comfort, via herd management suggestions that always yield back to milk production.
So what are some, is ventilation one of them? What are some that you're really looking at specifically?
Yeah, absolutely. Ventilation is one. Cow comfort in the form of more bedding in the stalls, different mattresses, different types of bedding, making sure that she has enough access to food and water. She's not away from her pen too long when she's milking, if it's in a traditional parlor. Really just trying to make her as comfortable as she can be, because anytime she's more comfortable, she will give us more milk in the process.
Terrific. And Tony, when we think of dairy, many of us, of course, think of cows, but sheep and goat dairies are eligible for DBIC funding as well. Tell us about that. Is the funding different for sheep and goats?
Well, the funding is the same. It's come into the Center for Sustainable Agriculture in that particular instance, where we have an outreach professional who's going to work directly with, we call them small ruminant dairies, and also with some pasture management issues for small ruminants as well. You know, Whitney and I will primarily take care of the cow-side dairies, the CSFOs, MFOs, and LFOs, the particular size of operation, but we do have that capacity to work well with all the other small ruminant milk producers.
Would it be as extensive as beginning to make a switch?
The switch, that's a very interesting question as well. You know, we know that there's a big need for goat's milk in the marketplace right now, and so we're going to try to put some efforts together to gauge the agricultural community here in Vermont to see if there's anybody willing to move over from cow-side dairy to goat-side dairy and see if we can help fill that niche.
Okay. And the UVM Center for Sustainable Agriculture, as you mentioned, is involved in this project as well. Talk about how they're contributing to the effort.
Again, their primary role for this particular grant is to support the small ruminant side of things.
Okay. And how can farmers find out more about DBIC, the Dairy Business Innovation Center, and the funding that's available?
Sure. And I think we're going to put a link up on the screen. And if folks want to know more, connect to that link, and you'll find information about the types of dairy assistance and the people that are involved, and contact one of us. We'd love to hear from you.
Okay, so that's go.uvm.edu/dairy assistance. Pretty straightforward. And back to you, Whitney. So when you visit a farm, just how does that work? Can you just kind of walk us through how that works? How you connect up, or is it people apply and then you go visit? How does that work? We have a few more minutes.
Sure. So there is a formal intake process, which I believe if you go to the link that was just posted, it will take you through those steps. So the first step is contacting either Tony or myself. The second step is we reach out, we assess what your specific need is, and then it generally involves a farm visit to sort of go over what exactly the need is and kind of an overview of what the farm looks like, how the cows are moving, and then it can be as detailed as a full records analysis with a dairy management team put together, or as simple as just a couple of recommendations to solve the problem that the farm is trying to address.
Well, thanks, Whitney. And Tony, how long do you think it'll take to see the results of what you're doing with the Northeast Dairy Business Innovation Center?
Well, we're already beginning to see some positive results, Fran. You know, we have a series of webinars that are planned one a month in December, January, February, and March, and they're all going to be specifically related to dbic activity. We're getting a lot of signups right now for those, and they're going to lead us to what future content we're going to want to be able to provide. So that's I think that's a plus. And then just to tag on a little bit to what Whitney said, this is very independent. It's really looking at the farm and the situation on the farm with a set of recommendations. So, you know, farmers can take those recommendations, choose the best option that fits their needs, and then move forward.
Great, and your support continues through that process, I would imagine.
It does. It's not a one-time thing. Ongoing work with us here at Agricultural Business is quite common. There are some farms that I've been working with for the last 15 years here in Extension, and pushing 30 years if I include my time in the dairy industry in the private sector.
Great, and certainly you're seeing results already. How are you measuring those results?
The results will be certainly measured by where the farm is when we first start with them, take a look at the recommendations that were proposed, and see just what the effects of those recommendations are. And as you said, you know, it's not something that often shows up within a week. Sometimes it could take 12 to 18 months to see the positive effects of some of the management changes that we may recommend. So it's an ongoing process, one where we stay connected to the farm on an ongoing basis, and that farm's specific advisors outside of Extension, so that we're all working in cooperation for the benefit of the one farm.
Terrific. Let's quickly look at that website one more time so people can check in and reach the two of you. There it is. So go.uvm.edu/dairyassistance. Tony, Kitsos, and Whitney Hull, thank you so much for being with us and letting us know about this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, Fran.
And thank you for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. Stay well.